Today we're going to be doing some measuring. Here I have some tips for measuring. So here, start measuring from 0. Always start from 0 and then you can count up and find your correct measurement. 2. Some small things can be measured in millimeters and centimeters. So for example, like a rubber, that's about a centimeter, but it can also be measured in as about 10 millimeters. Measure larger items in meters, like for example a garden. For example, if you can do that in centimeters, it would take you ages, but meters are just a whole lot bigger, so it's easier for them to fit. And then this is 4. Use a tape measure, ruler, or a digital measure. So they're all different ways that you can measure well. And 5, if you can't start your measure from 0, calculate the length by counting from the smallest number to the largest number. So, just going to get that on screen. So from the smallest number to the largest number. And you should also, as number 6, use a straight edge to help you line up. It's always better to keep your ruler straight so that when you're measuring, it goes in a straight line so you measure it properly. So this is a ruler. It can measure in centimeters, as you see here. If I just take this off. So this is a ruler. It has centimeters and millimeters. On one side, it has centimeters. This ruler goes up to 30 centimeters. Then I turn it round, and we have millimeters. And this ruler goes up to 300 millimeters. Okay, so 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters, and 100 centimeters equals 1,000 millimeters, which also equals 1 meter. This is a tape measure. It's usually used to measure clothes, and it measures in centimeters and millimeters. So for example, this is 10 centimeters right there, which would be 100 millimeters, and the millimeters are represented as these tiny little lines. So it goes up to 100. It goes up to 150 centimeters. I'll just show it to the camera. On 50 right there. And that also equals 1 meter and 50 centimeters. The tape measure also measures in inches. This is a tape measure. It also measures in inches. 1 inch equals 2.5 centimeters. We'll be measuring in centimeters, millimeters, and meters. This is a tape measure, but builders usually use these to measure wood, planks, and doors. And because the reason why builders use this is because it has this little hook thing on the end that makes it easier to hook onto like edges. And this tape measure measures in inches, centimeters, millimeters, and meters. This is a digital laser meter. Builders use this to measure the length of a room and the height of a room. And just for example, I'll click that on, and then you see that's the distance right here. It says 1.94 meters. which would be 194 centimeters. So this is a block of base 10, and now I'm going to try and measure it. So you should always remember to start on 0. I'm going to put it there and look at the end. I think that's about 10 centimeters. And if I flip the ruler around and turn that into millimeters, it will be 100 millimeters. Okay, so now I've written out the base 10, we can go on to the next one. Now we're going to do a glue stick. So if we just line the ruler up, there. Now let's get a glue stick. Boom. I think that looks about 8.5 centimeters. If I flip that around, just get millimeters, which would be 85 millimeters. 8.5 centimeters would mean 8.5 centimeters. 8.5 centimeters equals 8.5 centimeters, which would also be 85 millimeters. Now we're going to measure a pencil. So I'm going to line it up with my starting point right there. Okay. Now let's hold the pencil down. I'm going to mark the end. Just here. Right. Now I can just measure centimeters up to that line. So it's right on 17 centimeters. So that would be 17 centimeters and 170 millimeters. Okay, now we're going to measure a roll of masking tape. So let's put that down here. Perfect. Now let's make a line at the edge. Let's make that a bit more of a straight line. Now just measure that. Let's have a look. 10.12. 10.2 centimeters. And we flip that over. Millimeters. 102 millimeters. Okay, so now we'll be measuring a slider. So let's put it on the starting point. Just trying to find where that is. So if I put the ruler there we go. Now let's put a line at the end of the slider. There we go. Now we can just measure in between these with the ruler. So we'll line the centimeters up, and then that is 19 centimeters. And if I flip the ruler over, turn it into millimeters. 190 millimeters. Now I'm going to be measuring a book. So since it's quite straight, I can easily put the ruler on it. It's fine. So let's get this Rhinocon book. It's at the start, and I can easily just put a straight line at the end like this. Let's see how wide this is. So centimeters are lined up. Let's have a look. Just 24.8 centimeters if I flip it around. $248 millimeters. So I have a tab here which shows my sister's height, and I'm going to try and measure it. So we got the tape measure here, and I'm going to use this metal thing underneath to get a grip on it. I'm going to wipe it in with my foot and then pull it up. And I think it's about 118 centimeters, which will be 1 meter 18 centimeters. So I've got the tape measure again, and this time we're going to be measuring this big piece of wood. So I'm going to get the hook, put it in there, let along the whole thing, and now I think it's about 244 centimeters or 2 meters 44. So now I'm using this digital laser meter to measure the length of the corridor. So I'm going to put it against the wall, press this, and now press that. There's this on there. Now it says 4.93 meters, so that'd be 4 meters 93, 493 centimeters. And if you wanted to use a tape measure, it says the same thing there.